Hey, you guys should put like a riding with Biden thing above it.
All right. So, Kane,
Oh,
if you
dude, that'd
want to
be
jump
great.
on your Facebook and share the live feed, it's up now. Just FYI.
Oh, how do I do that? While I'm on this, you know what? I'll fuck this whole thing up,
That's
bro.
fine.
Oh, this is my
Wait a minute,
favorite time of
Damn it.
favorite time is story time with Kane, man. Holy shit.
Chia.
It's time.
Hey, blasphemers. Welcome to Simple Blasphemy, where we have the best times with the worst topics.
We're three friends that discuss everything and nothing, from wacky headlines to games and trivia. All subjects bizarre and risque are on the table.
Our weekly guests range from friends, musicians, and artists to professionals in a variety of industries.
We go live on Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Want to support the show? Join our Patreon. You can find it and more at www.simpleblasphemy.com.
So grab a drink and join it!
It's too late now. This is Simple Blasphemy.
Uh-oh. He was frozen for a second.
Oh, wait.
No, that was my face.
All
My
right.
face was frozen because I was caught with my hand in the cookie jar.
Welcome to the Simple Blasphemy podcast, all you blasphemers out there. My name is Zach Ward, and I have here with me always Andy's.
Good evening. How are you this evening? Nice evening.
Yay!
And Mr. Zach Green.
Want that topper with a sure suit
Zach
that the Duke of
Green,
Mock.
Chia!
All
Dr.
right.
Green and the Heezy.
Wow.
And all the info on the show, including episodes and guests, can be found at our simpleblasphemy.com. And if you're new here, consider subscribing, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, whatever it is. And our special guest this week, once again, is Mr. Kane Loc.
What up, yo? What up,
Oh,
yo?
yeah.
Yay!
Hell yeah.
We're going to
How
get
you guys
into a
doing,
whole bunch
man?
of
How you
fun.
guys doing?
Good.
Good, how
Glad
are
to have
you?
you on again. I've been
Yeah,
waiting
thanks for having me,
I've been
guys.
waiting for a long time for more stories.
Oh, man. Well, these are
Good
going to
or
be
bad?
some good
Good or
ones.
bad?
And, no, they'll be good ones, man, with a couple little life lessons and a bunch of fuckery, I'm sure. So let's get into it.
So before we jump into it straight without any form of lubricant, let's get a couple questions in just to get to know you better. How about that?
All right. Yeah, let's do that, man.
Kane.
Because you know what? A lot of people know my persona. A lot
Right.
of people don't really know me. And that's for sure. That's for
We're
sure.
going to unpack this. So here we
Enable
go.
Kane location services.
So
They said unpack it. Oh, shit.
Kane, question number one. Do you ever mentally strip strangers just for kicks?
Yeah. Yes, I do. I do it physically, too. I forcefully, physically. You know, I'm 6'5". I weigh like 240. I'm in the prime shape of my life. I could just make you take your clothes off.
He's not
No,
allowed
I'm
back
just
into
kidding.
any Kroger or Target east of the Mississippi.
No, we're talking about Toys R Us, bro. Get your shit together.
That's why Toys R Us closed. It was like Chi-Chi's.
That's it. I
One
was in the
bad, one
fucking
bad
giraffe
day.
suit. I was in the giraffe suit, boys.
Oh shit. Jeffrey!
G off.
Kane, what is
Yeah.
your favorite way to be seduced?
With drugs every time, always,
Jeffrey the
always,
giraffe.
100% hands
Sedated.
down,
Not
hands
sedated.
down. No, the wrong drugs. Wrong drugs. That's the,
Bill
get your
Cosby?
shit together, Zach. You know what the fuck we're talking about. No, I do. Like, I like a good time. I like it. You know, I like some wild shit. But I'm getting older now, man. So seduced is kind of a wrong word at my age. I would just say,
Convinced?
man, if no, I'm tired a lot. I work a lot. It's
Convince.
yeah, convinced. Oh yes,
Not
yes, that's
seduced.
for sure. Right. Because I mean, let's put it this way: I've been around the world, you know, and I've seen my fair share of VGs. So I mean, I'm tired. I'm fucking tired, man. I work 12, 13 hours a day. I mean, I've had a lot. So
a man can only break his dick off in so many countries before he gets tired.
Yeah, not to mention, man, apparently, you know, the last chick I had, you know, she went fucking crazy and tried to kill me over some shit. So just because I cut that off, I'm cool, man. I'm just going to keep my dick to myself and love me. No, I'm just fucking around.
You do
actually,
you.
man, you know what? If we're going to be honest and we're going to really keep it 100 on these things, man, you know, this is going to sound kind of weird, but man, I'm really like an old romantic type of dude, man. I really am, man. I like music and shit. I like dates, you know. Me and my kid's mom, Steph Woods, we get pretty romantic, and when we go out, we like to have drinks and wine and dine, man. Wine and dine. I really do, man. If you're gonna get some ass that night, I feel like you should shave your fucking balls and present yourself.
It looks bigger.
For 100, dude. Have you ever took the line up, like cut some of the hair back, so you're like, dude, if I give my dick a mohawk, it'll look like 8 more fucking inches all up the front of me.
He looks like the bad guy from the Road Warrior.
Yeah, but he looks like Hawk and Animal.
Now, do you have I guess the last question is, do you have a nickname for your penis?
No. I used to, and it got me in trouble because, you know. Listen. This is no joke. This is for real. When another chick knows the nickname of your dick, you're busted. Remember that.
Shakedown.
Remember that,
breakdown,
Playboy.
Big town. Everybody tell your girlfriend's dick name. Yeah.
How can you tell your chick? Hell no, I didn't fuck with that bitch. When she says, "Oh, really?" Because she know what Big Jim and the Twins' name is, and you're like, fuck. So never name your dick, gentlemen. Never name your dick. That's a rookie move.
Man,
Why don't you do it like Pokemon, like where it starts off as this name and then it evolves every once in a while?
Well,
so
because
being
if you
Big Jim and the Twins, it could be.
Oh my bad, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it could be Jameson and the Butler or whatever. The two butlers.
Well, because if you bring Pokemon and anything to do with your dick, you're going to prison. So.
All right.
Do you see how I landed in prison? Do you see? I mean, I'm good, bro. I'm good at this shit. Goddamn.
So tonight's topic is going to be prison and then drugs and stuff like that. So yeah, you did great.
Hey, yeah.
Oh, poetic, baby, poetic.
Before we dive right into that, we like to give a shout out to the top countries listening in, and folks, again, number one country, India, United States.
India. Fuck yeah! I love my Indian brothers.
Oh my God.
Germany, Canada, Belgium, France. United Kingdom, Italy.
I'm not gonna lie. Fuck France. I'm not gonna lie. I think they should have done more during the big war. They don't appreciate nothing we do for these motherfuckers. Merci beaucoup. Oui.
So,
I'm just kidding, France. I love you, France. I do.
I want to try all the beers from all these places. I want a good Indian beer.
Have you guys ever watched like French porn? Them bitches go ham. I mean, they do.
They're all wrapping their armpit hair around this guy's dick.
Look it up. Gone ham. Look it up. Gone ham.
I'm dead serious, man. They just say, okay, my bad.
I have to get this out of the way because it's a shout out from Tanner Wirtz.
What's up, guys? This is Tanner Wirtz. I want to give a big shout out to all the dudes out there. While all of our female friends are out there with their wops, aka their wet ass pussies, we're out here with our hads, our hard ass dicks.
Short but sweet.
You got your hads and your hads nots.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's a big fucking song these days. I listened to it this morning for the first time and watched the video.
Still haven't.
All right.
Why would you? Well, thank you for not.
I don't know why. It's just I had to know what everybody was talking about.
So here we go. Kane has graciously.
I just want to be clueless.
No, me too. I just want to fucking die.
I don't care. Yeah, I don't fucking. Why did I spend so much time learning how to play guitar? I would rather have my kids plan my funeral than listen to
in
that
front
shit.
of you,
Right.
over a nice McDonald's meal.
And that's from my boy fucking Loc, baby.
All
Why
right.
they read the will, they're not getting nothing. All right, sorry.
All right, let's put this back on the rails here. So,
All right.
Kane, give us some background. How was it growing up in your teens, elementary school, junior high, and how did that lead you to the journey of your life?
When did I start getting in trouble?
Sure.
That's a good way to put it.
My father died when I was young. I was about 7. My brother was 9. We found my father dead.
Oh.
So that kind of started, off on an emotional, you kind of freeze emotionally as a kid then. But then right after that, I didn't realize then that, when my father died, he left my mom with a drug habit. So, and this was in the 70s, early 80s. We were homeless for a while. We lived in Cleveland bus station while I was a kid. And, it was rough. And, but, I was one of them kids, man. I didn't even know it was rough, I would say. I had a good time. It was a little bit rough where you fight and shit like that, but I grew up doing that. So that really wasn't out of the norm. And, I'd get my ass kicked all the time by older kids, and you just took your lumps and you just went about your shit, but I remember being at the Cleveland bus station is when the first time I got good at stealing, but it was to steal food. And I learned how to work vending machines and just things like that to get stuff. I knew how to pop open, like it's back then at the Greyhound bus stations where we stayed at too in downtown Cleveland, like they would have TVs on the wall, and like you would put quarters in the seat where you sat to watch TV for a certain amount of time. And that's how me and my brother and all the kids that were kind of in the same position in life and literally who stayed there, we would all, as soon as they would leave, we would turn the channel and try to watch Saturday morning cartoons. That's how we would even be able to have, any type of normalcy on that level. And that's when we would do that shit. So then that kind of leads you down a path of just pickpocketing, stealing, gambling. I started gambling very, very young. That's why I'm good now.
Well, hold a second. Let's unpack gambling for a second. How did you get into gambling? What were you gambling? What games or whatnot? Craps or?
Well, because back
Did
then,
you know when to fold them?
Yeah, well, anything you had then, no.
Good.
No, because me and my brother were pieces of shit. We would snatch up the piles of whatever it was anyway and take off running. Bam. So, sometimes they'd catch you, beat your ass. Sometimes they didn't. What I mean about gambling is like all the kids would get together. We would have boxes of macaroni and cheese. We would have this, that, and the other. Some people would have a little bit of money. Some people would have a joint, a couple cigarettes. And all the kids would always gamble. We would play dice, mostly dice, but it wasn't always craps. We used to play 4, 5, 6 and shit like that. It's called CeeLo. Just different games like that. That way more than one person can gamble. And then, that's just a product of your environment and to survive. Now through this all, I was a rougher kid, but dude, I was still one of them kids, man. Like, I loved life. I made every situation a good time. I tried to laugh every single day, so, that perspective carries you through a lot of it without bitterness, because you could be really bitter and you could be really why me and all that type of woe is me shit, with the dad and the home. You can get swallowed up in that so fast because you actually have a right to. Your life's fucked up and you're a kid and you're like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if you just kind of keep that shit as far away from you as possible, because life ain't fair and nobody owes you shit. Nothing owes you nothing. If we look at any type of reality in nature, hey man, a lot of fucking animals eat their first 3 kids. Think about that shit in life. So I'll survive, I'll get it done. And that was my mentality then. But along with that mentality becomes the mentality of I'm gonna not only survive, but I want nice shoes too. I want a nice shit too. I want not just food, I want some money. So how do I go about doing that? Who in my neighborhood comes from where I'm coming from but's got something? Oh, these dudes that sell weed. Oh, there's dudes who got a better garage, they sell crack. Oh, okay, I get that. And plus my older brother, man. I mean, not to toot our own little horn, but man, we were some white boys growing up in some rough neighborhoods. East Cleveland. I lived in West Cleveland, West 25th of Lorraine. And then once we got out of the homeless situation, we moved to a suburb of Cleveland called Ashtabula, but it's not a suburb. It's worse. It's worse. Ashtabula is a very rough city.
What makes it worse? What makes it worse?
Because the concentration of drugs and crimes and gangs was Cleveland's a big city and it's spread out. Ashtabula was all the worst parts of Cleveland put together and left in a city. Like they just decimated the working class there so bad as it went on. There used to be a harbor there. There used to be the docks and all this other, a lot of jobs there. And when all that shit dried up, in the late 80s, all the shipping kind of era ended. The big shipping, trucks took over, semis took over, things of that nature. Air took over way more. The actual, all these, Detroit and Toledo and Cleveland all had these harbors and these shipping areas, man. And when those things went down, man, crack came in, gangs came in, all these cities around here. I mean, it was the belt from Cleveland, Toledo, Detroit, right that belt right there, man. They all became the same cities, just crime. And that's how it was, man.
So you obviously noticed just with your instinct that money can be made by
a million ways. It's endless. If you're a hustler, if you are a true hustler, if it's in you, it's in kids like me, because it was instilled so young. If there was no hustle to you, there was no eating.
Right.
But then if you hustled even more, you can do that shit and look good while you eat. And then if you hustle even harder, you can pull yourself out of that shit and your people and this and that. To put in perspective, man, when I was 19 years old, I'd only been out of juvenile a year. I got caught with $80,000 in food stamps. These are food stamps. These are the actual paper books that had the money, because we had I was hustling and I was making, on the streets, food stamps sell for 50 cents on a dollar. Do you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So imagine this. So imagine me selling $300 that I have in dope to you, but you're giving me $600 in food stamps because it's 50 cents on a dollar. But then I have somewhere where I'm cashing these in a dollar for dollar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because you have somebody that's got their own racket going. Yeah.
They got that. Listen, they have a grocery license. And see, back in the 80s and early 90s, not too many people knew this. The government gave you an incentive to accept food stamps because people didn't want to accept them. So they gave the grocery stores a quarter on every dollar they accepted. So if this dude traded in, and you could only trade them in every 90 days. So every 3 months, they would trade in $30,000 of food stamps. He would make the quarter off every dollar. And we would get our dollar for dollar. Wow. So let me tell you something. I'm telling you, that was one of my, we kicked it. We made a lot of good money. But leading to this, I eventually get knocked. I got snitched on eventually, but it wasn't for that. It was for these guns. My brother had robbed a gun store back in the day. And they thought I was fencing the guns for my brother. And I was, but they weren't there. Anyway, they raided my house, and when they raided my house, they found these food stamps. And let me tell you something, dude. I had the ATF in there because I had some guns. I had the DEA there because it was the drug charges. Oh my God, my back! I gotta go get my power cord, or we might get shut down. Anyway, listen. But dude, when the Treasury Department walked in, hey man, I had never seen I didn't really realize the Treasury Department would be over the DEA, but dude, we were in the sheriff's office when the Treasury guy walked in, he said, are you Sheriff so-and-so? He goes, I'm gonna need this office. And the guys all looked at me and goes, and you guys can go with him. Talking to the DEA agent. Hey, dude, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Hey man, that scared me more than the dude standing there, bro. I was like, oh my God. So I was sitting there, mind you, I'm almost 20 at this point. Yeah, about 20. Yeah, a little bit over 20 because I was in for 21. But hey, that dude looked right at me. And this was one of the lessons I'm so glad I got to say this because it really speaks to today's snitching, today how people tried to make it cool and how the real people should be telling you, hey man, you accept that charge if that's what you've done. You don't ruin another man's life. When you're out there committing those crimes, hey man, if you happen to get knocked up, you better accept your shit.
Mhm.
You know, to ruin somebody else's life, to trade somebody else in who didn't get caught, who's playing the game right, you know, who's probably not being a flashy, dumb piece of shit, but you go trade him in for your freedom. Hey, man, to even think that these people were letting that 6'9" motherfucker try to act like that shit would be cool or accepted ever, that's the part you don't understand. There's some people out there that are just committing enough crime to get by. You know what I'm saying? And just because they've worked their way up, they don't mean they're violent pieces of shit. They can have families. Hey, man, they just hustle. But then you trade them in because you got caught because you're the dumb motherfucker in the street toting pistols, doing wild buck shit because that's how you got knocked. So you trade in somebody higher than you that has probably fed you the whole time. They're your plug. That's the lowest form, and how it's still not considered the lowest form piece of shit, rat shit. I don't get. I get that. That hurt my feelings as a goddamn criminal from the street growing up. Who is a good person? I am a good person. I don't commit crime anymore. I've been out of the game for a long time, but that is who I was for a long time. But it doesn't mean I wasn't a good dude, because I wasn't. To say good dude is a weird thing, because it's not. Maybe I wasn't a good person, but we all adhered to the code in the street that was real at the time.
Mm-hmm. That's
and we
good
respected that shit. We respected. There was lines drawn. Bro, there was lines drawn. You never involved innocent people. You've never touched women and children. There was things that you just fucking do not do. You don't tell on nobody. You especially don't tell on your friends. You don't fuck your homies' girls. You don't pinch the pot. You don't short your boy. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you stay loyal to your fucking crew. I mean, those were real things for a long time. Man, I don't see it.
Why do you think it's changed today?
Because we accepted it, because people like me got out of the game, because any of us who live to be over 40-some, you know, it's not like I'm not me who I am, but I'm not out here doing no dumb shit, banging in the streets. So, you know, whatever I put in my shit, I got out. And we stepped back. And the next generation who came to take the reins, they dropped the ball, man.
Yeah.
They dropped the ball. There's a disconnect. You know, us who are almost 50 shouldn't be out here in the streets trying to correct 20-year-olds. These 30-year-olds and these 40-year-olds should be doing that shit. Like, I don't get that. Like, you know, you got Tekashi that came out looking who did that. It did. That dude came out and said Stitcher was cool and was the #1 dude on the charts. Talking about on the King of New York. Let me tell you something. 25 years ago, he would have never been able to step foot on the streets of New York. New York would have took care of him. New York was not some punk city where you just go walk around and claim that shit and make that shit look cool. No, New York, the city itself would have swallowed him whole. For the simple fact that he got to live and walk around was a mockery of all that is criminal.
Well, let's dive into
my bad.
No,
things have fucking changed, haven't they?
Awesome. So let's.
Hey man, it hurts your heart if you're somebody who's put in most of your time and I mean, I put in most of my life in the street. I mean, with one shape or the other, even when I was good, man, and I didn't do anything. I still went on tour with my band. Like, I've always been on the street. I've always been outside. And I love it that way, but it hurts my heart to see where half of everything is gone, man. Half of everything is gone.
Is that something that you think you'll eventually have to accept, that it may, like, the entire walk of life is completely coming to an end? Like,
well, you could accept it, sure, or you could just stay in your own bubble that you create. And I'm perfectly fine with creating a bubble for my friends and my family and letting the world burn around us if that's what has to happen.
It's weird because
it's where I'm at. It's where I'm at.
Being insulated like that's not a bad thing these days. It really isn't.
It's not, because in my work life, I'm forced to be out in it every day and connect with the world every day. So when I'm not in my work life, man, that's all I want is to shut off.
Yeah.
You know, that's all I want.
So two things. Thank you, Alan. Do you need to grab a charger real quick? Because you're wireless anyway. We can hear you.
Yep, I do. But yep.
So let's just kind of set the stage for what we'll be getting into. And if you could think about, you know, maybe what it was and how and when the first time that you got really busted and had to go to prison, more or less.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want it as a juvenile perspective, Or do you want it as the adult perspective?
Let's go both.
Yeah, but go diet.
Hello?
Let's go diet on one of them
Yeah, let's go diet on vanilla on juvenile, and then
because we can do that. We can do that another one. We can keep that for another time. Let's pick an era of prison and go with that.
Yeah, because
okay, what's fucking crazy is that I've been there so much and so long and so many different times. We can pick what era that we want to go to. That's kind of fucked up, boys.
Yes, but it is
listen,
going
let
to
me
make
put
for
this in
really good.
perspective. Yeah. Yeah, we should split this up. We should probably start at the roots in the juvenile system.
There you go. Ooh, Prison Stories
Yeah.
Part 1.
Yeah, let's story time.
Kane Loc Prison Blues.
Not everybody has been in jail.
That's right.
Hold on. Not everybody's been in jail. So why don't you just why don't you give the listener what jail you want to talk about, what it was like, what was really difficult about it, and maybe even like what were a few things that weren't so bad. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be all negative.
Yeah, for sure. I'll give you a pure scope on it because especially for people like me, the juvenile system was a godsend. Like I said, man, we were super poor at the time, and then we never really recovered from there. My mom always worked 2 jobs after that just to survive, but minimum wage shit. So, I mean, it's not like I was ever going to make it out. So I was selling weed super young. And that, like, remember I told you about that code shit? Like, number one, first thing I never did, and you would think it was the opposite. Like, I never stole from people. I could never steal from somebody. I never stole from nobody. I would never break in your home or your cars. I didn't take nothing that somebody worked for. But a store, credit cards, checks, things like that blue collar shits, that's, those were different. I sold a lot of drugs, any way to hustle and make some money, but never somebody personal, bro. Never. It just, I think I did the 2 times I snatched a purse and I helped with a robbery on somebody's home who was super rich. And then those are the 2 worst times I probably hated myself the most, laying there in your bed, in your bunk when you are in jail. And those are the crimes you look back on, whether you were busted or not. They just eat you alive because they're not your character, but you get caught up in either hungry. And I don't mean that as in a literal term. I mean, just hungry in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Because he's got shit that I don't got. And I don't like it. I want nice shit. So I want to go get me some nice shit. So
why don't you walk us
look,
through?
that's the mentality in jail. When you go into jail, you could either, especially being a white guy, you are the minority off the rip by, it's 80-20. So you can either survive in there. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Why don't you walk us down of actually arriving at the jail? What happens? I mean, we've all seen Rocky and Rambo, rather, not Rocky.
Sure. That's the county, though. That's the county jail. And those experiences in the county jail are horrific in their own right. You know what I mean? Them county sheriffs, man, they can do anything they want to you, man. They roughhouse you, they whip your ass, they throw you around, they dog you. And this isn't a cop bashing thing. I'm telling you this because a lot of times when you come in there, when you're on that side, it's not like they're locking you up for drunk driving that night. You're in the prison system. So they treat you a whole nother way. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, they don't give a fuck about your feelings or not. Hey man, I got to shit. Hey man, I got to piss. Shut up, sit down.
Shit your pants.
You'll come out here when we want to. I mean, that's the mentality of them. 100%. It's just a fact. It's not an opinion.
So
trying to bash them.
Going into the big house, you arrive. You have to go through some kind of like giving your possessions up in some way, shape, or form. I assume.
Pick it down and put it down properly.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're suggesting were you fearful of being a white guy coming into prison? I mean, you're a big dude.
No, I wasn't fearful of that aspect. I was fearful in general, period. Not because I was white, because I'm going into, I went to scary penitentiaries. Back then you could still smoke cigarettes in prison. You could, we had weights and we had open yards, and there wasn't all this lockdown shit. I mean, our prisons were like the prisons you see on the movie. It was open yards, and people got fucked up, and you're scared for that reason. It's not because you're white. I mean, If you let it creep all the way down to that aspect, you're already defeated. You got to have some sense of these cats better watch out for me too, bro. I'm a goddamn shark they're putting in these waters too. I'm not no fucking guppy out here. So, and that leads to my point of, hey man, it's never about winning a fight ever, ever, ever in the joint, as if you will fight. Because I don't care if you can win or not. Nobody wants to fight the same dude 4 or 5 times, even though you whoop his ass. Because in the process, you're still getting punched in the mouth, bit, knuckled, something. Who wants that every single day? As long as you're ready to give it your all, I don't give a fuck when. At the drop of a dime, I'll jump over this fucking table. You're good. You're good. You do that for 3-4 months straight, man, especially if you got some years. I had to do 5 years day for day, and they ran it consecutive, which was 3, all together, thank God. Or I'd have done 15. But still, and that was another thing that was great. Me knowing that I had flat time and I don't have to see a parole board. Oh, homie, I was wild. I was wild as fuck because I didn't have to worry about that shit seeing a parole board. I'd get in a fight in a fucking minute just to go on vacation from work for 15 days. Because, hey, bro, I was in London Correctional. That shit had the chain gang still, bro. And you worked for 18 cents an hour.
Did you?
8, 9, 10 hours a day, bro. Yeah, man. I was on the fucking shit crew and the fence crew.
Oh, see, this is the kind of stuff.
I used to do razor wire.
You were part of the captors. You were the people. You got forced to be the guy that prevented other people leaving. It's not like you had a choice. You had to do it. That was your work assignment. You had to fucking do it.
I had to hang fucking razor
story.
Wire.
God, that's a story in of itself. How often did you fuck
we
yourself
had gloves. Up? We had these chainmail gloves, bro, that weighed almost 50 pounds a piece. And that's how you had to wear these gloves. They looked like shark gloves, if you were down diving to get bit by a shark. That's what they fucking literally look like, bro. And dude, because this razor wire, we would watch Bird when we first pulled it out of the packaging when that shit was, dude, like a fucking lightsaber, bro. Birds would land on it and it would lop off their bottom feet, dude. And the birds would just hit the ground. Oof.
Oof.
Yeah, legit.
They would just roll and flap their wings for a little while.
So, Kane,
no, they would hop on their belly and take off flying. But, yeah, the niggas can't land.
So, 2 questions. What was the worst thing that ever happened to you in prison?
Oh,
and what is the
cutting to the chase though?
And number 2, what is the worst thing you witnessed that you were just absolutely?
God, you're hitting it. We're not staying on topic.
He's got to get up and fucking take a walk.
Nice. He's wiping.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I'm just going to tell you this, man.
He's wiping his taint, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm only going to tell you this. I'm only going to tell you this is because it's on my record and it could be looked up, and it was the dumbest move I've ever done in my life because, dude, I turned my air off because my blower's real loud right here, and it is hot in this joker.
Oh my God! Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, suffer for your art.
What's going on, bro?
What? It's true. Suffer for your fucking art. This is art.
And I knew you were going to ask this, and this is a weird
story time.
Oh shit! I still got to plug in my phone. Hold on, guys.
This accessory is not supported by your phone.
No shit.
I get that from time to time. Let's see what Corey Williams just said here.
This dude.
Corey was like, "Fuck you, bro."
No. He's come around. He started off as a Kane Loc skeptic, and he he's
what does that mean though? I don't know what a skeptic means. I mean, I know what the word means. I mean, skeptic as in like I'm not a real person.
He wanted to not like you, but he loves you. He loves you. He loves you.
Thanks. I love you too.
He says, I like this guy. He's real as fuck. I wanted to hate him, but I can't. And he says something about 6 Mile in Manchester represent. I have no idea what that means.
Nice. Manchester, homie. I have got to find a fucking base or man, we're shut down, homies. Oh my God.
Now, like, Andy, look at you.
Bro, where is I got it.
What are you looking
at? Hey folks, if you have any questions in the chat too.
Enough.
Oh yeah. If you have any questions in the chat, by all means.
Are you entertained?
Hey, I don't know what happened to all those assholes that were in here the past couple weeks. Where are those assholes?
Andy.
What?
Are you not entertained?
Yeah.
Perform further. Is that a Piggly Wiggly shirt, Kane Loc?
That's none of your business, bro.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
Well, I get it. All right.
Yeah, how you like that? Twice.
I can't wait till we're able to do one of these things live.
You see Ziggy Pig?
Like, seriously. Mask up with Kane Loc.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
In Zach Green's hot tub.
Come get your picture taken with Kane.
We still got to do that. We still got to do that, Andy.
As long as you don't mind if I wear a mask the entire time.
I don't care. Whatever.
No pants.
Anything that takes the focus off your face.
As long as you don't mind if I'm wearing a bikini.
Mind, I'll buy that motherfucker.
I was going to say, do you do requests? Can you do the top at one time and the bottom at one time and then both?
Whatever, man, whatever helps with listeners.
All right, all right, my bad.
Here we go.
My bad.
Strap in, folks. Put your seatbelt on.
Okay, the worst thing that ever happened to me in prison. I'm really not going to talk about a couple of them. Obviously, I was never raped or nothing like that. But there's just some things, man, that they are horrific. They're horrific and they're disturbing, and yet they're justified at the same time. So it's a very, we had a guy on that dorm they called Bunny, and like every couple years or so, he'd get his ass whooped super, super, super bad. He was a child molester.
Phone call.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh no! Remind me, I have to come back. I have to come back to this particular topic. I have a question for you.
Hello?
You're kind of here.
Well, I'm fine.
Stand by, folks. Wait a second.
No. You all the Zach and Andy's are fine. It's the Kane Loc. I think his headphones told him to fuck off.
Shit. Fuck.
Maybe the phone call made the headphones.
I think
the most important person on the cast right now.
I think that Kane Loc should go as Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh shit! All right,
better.
That's fine.
Can you hear us?
So tell us about Bunny.
Shit. I don't.
Shit. Hey, Kane, can you hear us?
Come back now.
God damn. We're not up there with technology. I don't know.
Walk to the light.
It's gonna be a Kane Loc time for touchdown brings me right into fine.
Dude, I mean, I just want to say this is so awesome to have talking about this type of stuff.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I grew up in a neighborhood, and I grew up on the same block with people as cool as this guy. And just for them to be able to tell their fucking story, in real time, it means something,
It does.
Yeah, the dude's real. If I'm to give an honest review of him, I've known him for 20 years, known of him for 20 years. And I never got to know him, but I'm very, very, very glad that I have.
Green, were there a lot of like this type of thing happening in Detroit?
Oh, then? Yes. What he talks about, he talks about the Toledo era. This shit was happening in Detroit, in the fucking zero block. Like you have like 20 houses per block. This shit was happening within the block I was living, and I knew people like him, exactly like him, that were really good fucking people, but had to fucking play the system. And that's just how it was. And I didn't think any less of him. We still were friends. We still hung out. He never, he, like he said, he never really did any bad where like he robbed from your house or, he was just.
What is it about that code that makes that
It's so weird. I don't even have a right even to begin to talk about it. Kane does, but because I just had a weird sense like, oh, this guy knows how to fucking work on the guitars, and all of a sudden I got hired in the local music store, so I fucking lucked out. I didn't have to deal with this guy had a deal, but a lot of the guys on my block that I grew up with, a lot of my younger friends did, and he tells the fucking real deal, and it's a story that is not told.
If there's one thing that Kane Loc is, he is real.
So here's the
100%, man. And Kane is literally the guy I would fucking give my life for.
So
I'd vote for him.
So here's what I think actually happens if I were to guess on the street code portion of it. Then of course there's always going to be a small percentage of people that are going to be on either end of the spectrum as it relates to, in other words, it's almost like man law. You know what I mean? So having said that, we still live, even though, drugs are being sold, which I don't think drugs should even be a criminal. They should all be decriminalized personally. But, these types of things is, like he said, they're a hustle. And, it is a method of making money. And the system created this method. And so saying that, there has to be some kind of like, I don't mean civil, but there's culture of some sort. You're not just the biggest piece of shit that ever walked the face of the earth.
No, you can be a big fish.
Yeah.
Instead of being a big piece of shit.
In a different pond.
Go ahead, Zach. Green. No. I want Zach Green.
Like my dad literally, like, when the lights went down and then people went to bed, my dad literally went across the street and played dice with the kids in the neighborhood. I know that sounds fucking crazy.
Awesome.
And they would fucking take him every time. But like my dad was just like, this is my world and I'm just trying to help. I don't want to be seen as a bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he would literally, and at the time, these kids were like 14, 15. He would literally go across the street, lay down his fucking money and fucking play dice with him.
And this is your dad, the fireman.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's served so like over 30 years worth.
That's beautiful.
But that's
fucking beautiful.
That's code too. That's the keeping it.
And that's why we were given a certain amount of respect. When everybody fucking fled the fucking neighborhood, we stayed there. And we're just like, fuck, we just want to make it.
Yeah, you invested.
Hey, do you need some help? Let me help you. And my dad even.
You probably got a really good honor pass. It's not just a pass. You are there to help the community. Everybody in your neighborhood recognized that your dad's there to help the community, and they supported you because it's all altruistic. Being a fireman is one of the most altruistic professions I can think of. You're taking care of one of the primal forces of nature. You are the controller. You're the person that controls that.
And I took my dad's lead, and we were helping these, their early cars back in the day, obviously carbureted. We're helping them with their carbureted cars. And for the younger guys, we're helping them with their bicycles. And we're just like, everybody fled. We could be angry, but we're just like, we're all people. Let's just fucking help out.
What a wonderful.
And we were invited. We were invited to all their weddings and stuff like that. We were always the only white people, and it was fucking awesome. It was fun.
That's neighbors.
See, now that is some cultural exposure that for me I never got. I came from a bedroom community. So it was basically just a bunch of white people. I think we had a parade on the day the first African-American family moved into our neighborhood.
But it was
you might want to have to define what you mean by that.
It was never about white or black. It was just about, hey, let's just be fucking cool.
Yeah, man.
No, and that in and of itself is fantastic. I came from such a white bread area of the country that I don't want to say I thought it was just fine. They ended up being patients in my dad's office and stuff like that.
Hello.
Kane Loc back.
Can you guys hear me?
Anyway, yes. Anyway, things were fine.
I can't really, but it's all good.
Oh, there you go.
I just don't know why my headphones and nothing's working.
It's all good. If you can,
it's all good. My bad, man.
We only got a couple minutes left in this, and then we're going to do the after show. Are we doing the after show tonight, Zach?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then let's close it out, and then we'll do.
So yeah, if you want to, Kane's going to tell a couple more stories in the after show. Now that we get to relax for a second. You know what, Kane? Just hang tight. It's not a big deal. You can. Let me just throw the link up. We are going to hang out in our after show in our Patreon, folks, which is patreon.com/simpleblasphemy. And what we can do, that just helps us. Basically, we make stickers and send out different things, yada, 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 and you help supporting, paying the bills. So we do appreciate all of our Patreons. Big thank you. So give us about maximum 10 minutes, but about 5 minutes to get the Patreon link. Basically on the homepage of our Patreon, which is patreon.com/simpleblasphemy. Our video is going to show up, and then we're going to hang out and we can talk in the chat as well. So, hey, go find it. Other than that, we want to thank you once again. Next week, I believe, is Amanda.
Well, if she survives the double hurricane, is that going on right now? I seriously shout out to Amanda. Shout out to Kane Loc, who's making sure to. Yep, he's torching the cherry. Kane Loc torches the cherry of life. He will be rejoining us momentarily.
Thanks again, Tanner, for your shout out, and we will see you next Tuesday. Yow. All right, now to just hit this.
Hi, word.
1 second.
I'm still thinking about that extreme thing you told me about.
Yeah, you should.